If you're a man over 60 and still keep the same old habits every time you go to the bathroom, then chances are your prostate is silently suffering every day without you even realizing it. It's not about what you eat, nor about not drinking enough water or being inactive. This time, the cause comes from a very common habit, so simple that almost everyone has done it without ever thinking it could be harmful. I'm Dr. Marie, with over 20 years of experience in caring for the health of older men. Throughout my career, I've noticed that many gentlemen frequently suffer from issues like nighttime urination, incomplete urination, or a persistent feeling of pressure in the lower abdomen. What's concerning is that these problems often originate from small, seemingly harmless habits repeated daily without awareness. And in today's video, I will point out 3 common mistakes that many men over 60 are making, along with simple changes to help free the prostate and allow it to function more healthily each day. Don't take your eyes off the screen just yet, because in the very first part, I'll share exactly about one action that seems harmless, but actually causes significant damage to the prostate if not corrected in time. You may be surprised to find out you're doing it every day. Before we begin, allow me to get to know you. Where in the world are you watching this video from? I'd be very happy to know who I'm accompanying on today's journey to better health. Please leave a greeting in the comments below. And if this is your first time visiting the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any useful and practical advice for men's health after 60. Now, let's dive into the first mistake, a habit that many people do without knowing that it's the reason they wake up at night to urinate. Mistake 1: urinating too quickly, a habit that tires the prostate daily. Many men over the age of 60 share a common daily behavior. They enter the toilet, finish as quickly as possible, and leave in under 20 seconds. It sounds efficient, but in fact, this is one of the silent causes of pressure on the prostate that not many people realize. The reason is, as we age, the muscles that control the bladder and pelvic floor begin to weaken. Urinating is no longer a one-and-done process like in your younger days. If you stand up right after thinking you've finished, there's a high chance a small amount of urine is still left in the bladder. And this residual urine is where the problems begin. It causes constant irritation to the bladder. It increases pressure in the lower abdomen. Over time, it leads to swelling and inflammation of the prostate, causing nighttime urination, frequent urination, and the sensation of incomplete emptying. I remember very clearly the case of Mr. Lamb, 67 years old, who used to be a fitness coach. He said he was always busy, so when he used the toilet, it had to be quick and done. But that efficiency led to chronic urine retention, to the point he had to learn to self-catheterize at home. Not a pleasant experience at all. Fortunately, the solution is very simple. After you feel like you've finished urinating, stay still for another 10 to 15 seconds. Just those few extra seconds give your bladder time to contract fully and expel the remaining urine. Many people realize that this second wave is what truly makes them feel relieved. I often call this the prostate protection moment. It takes a little more time, but in return, you get uninterrupted sleep at night, a true sense of bladder emptying, and significantly reduced stress on the prostate. But the story doesn't end there. There's another common habit related to bowel movements that many people have, but never suspect it could negatively affect the prostate. And I'll share that in the next part. Dear viewer, if you're still watching this video, I'm truly glad that you care about your health. Please leave the number 1 in the comments so I know you're still here with me. Mistake 2: straining when defecating, a seemingly harmless habit that damages the prostate. You may be surprised to learn that straining hard during bowel movements is actually a factor that can seriously affect the prostate, but this has a solid basis. The prostate sits right in front of the rectum, separated only by a thin layer of tissue. So when you're constipated and have to push hard, all the pressure from the abdomen is directed straight onto the prostate. If this happens repeatedly over time, the gland tissue can be compressed. Blood circulation becomes restricted, and chronic inflammation can easily form. I still remember a senior patient, Mr. 2, 72 years old, a retired engineer. He suffered from chronic constipation. Every morning he spent dozens of minutes in the bathroom, trying to push it all out. Over time, he began to feel incomplete urination, lower abdominal tightness, and frequent dribbling throughout the day. Though there were no signs of infection or tumors, tests revealed that his prostate had been inflamed for a long time, and the likely cause was years of straining during bowel movements. When the pelvic floor muscles are constantly tense, the prostate becomes more sensitive. Just small triggers like prolonged sitting, coffee, or stress are enough to make the symptoms flare up again. The solution is not complicated. First, never hold it in when you feel the urge to go. Delaying bowel movements makes the stool harder and increases pressure during elimination. Second, don't strain your body by pushing like you're lifting a heavy object. That has the opposite effect, causing muscle backlash and spasms. A very effective method is to place a small stool under your feet when using the toilet. This helps create a squatting-like posture, naturally opening the hip angle and making elimination easier. Finally, a fiber-rich breakfast is essential. Oatmeal, prunes, flaxseed, or psyllium can help soften stools, improve bowel movement, and reduce pressure on the pelvic area. A small behavior, repeated over a long time, can lead to major consequences. Unfortunately, most men only realize this when it's too late. And there's still one more habit, one that silently appears at night, that many gentlemen think isn't a big deal. But in reality, it disrupts sleep and prevents the prostate from truly resting. We'll explore that right after this. Mistake 3: standing to urinate at night. A habit that deprives the prostate of its chance to recover. This is one of those topics that very few people want to talk about, and many are reluctant to change. Simply because it touches on the manhood of a man, standing while urinating. But that is no longer suitable if you're over 60. As we age, the body becomes more fatigued at night. Urinary reflexes decrease. The pelvic floor muscles weaken. When you continue the habit of standing to urinate at night, your body is in a drowsy, uncontrolled state, and it's very easy for the bladder to not be fully emptied. That leftover urine is exactly what causes silent pressure on the prostate throughout the night. Many people have come to see me in a state where they wake up 3-4 times every night to urinate. They're exhausted, frustrated, and suffer from chronic insomnia. And one of the first pieces of advice I give them is, try sitting down when you urinate after 9:00 p.m. It's simple, effective, and absolutely does not affect your masculinity. Sitting helps the body stabilize, the pelvic floor muscles relax, the stream flows more steadily and strongly, and most importantly, the bladder gets completely emptied. This helps reduce nighttime urination, incomplete voiding, post-urination dribbling, and that lingering sense of pressure after using the bathroom. I still remember a special case. Uncle Dung, 69 years old, a former military serviceman, very tough-minded. It took me nearly a year to convince him to try sitting to urinate at night. But after 3 weeks, he came back with a bright smile. "Doctor, for the first time in 6 years, I slept through the night without having to get up to pee. Just one small change, but the impact is far from small." Of course, all these positive changes won't last if you overlook one core factor, your daily diet. What you put into your body will directly influence inflammation, recovery ability, and even your hormonal balance. And we'll explore that in the very next section. If you're still watching up to this point, thank you for your patience and attention. I truly appreciate it. Please leave the number 3 in the comments so I know I'm not talking to myself. Part 2, just a few small adjustments can transform your prostate health. If after watching the previous parts, you suddenly realize, oh, I'm doing those things every day too, then don't panic or blame yourself. In truth, recognizing your mistake is the very first and most important step toward making a proactive change. Many people think that to improve prostate health, they need to make a series of complicated changes or take expensive supplements. But in reality, just a few small adjustments, if you apply them consistently, can already produce significant results. Let's go back to those 3 seemingly harmless behaviors: urinating too quickly, straining during bowel movements, and standing to urinate at night. These habits may stem from long-time routines, carelessness, or simply not having the right information. But precisely because they are repeated daily, they become a burden on the prostate, leading to nighttime urination, incomplete voiding, pelvic pressure, or persistent low-grade inflammation. The good news is, our bodies have an amazing ability to recover if you give them the right time and conditions. The earlier you start, the more noticeable the results will be. You don't need to change everything at once. Just pick one thing you've learned today and apply it consistently. You'll feel the difference in a short time. However, aside from behavioral habits, there's another foundational factor that deeply affects prostate health: your daily nutrition. And that will be the main topic I want to share with you next. Part 3, proper nutrition, the foundation for a stable and less inflamed prostate after 60. Many people only think that eating habits affect digestion, weight, or blood sugar levels. But in reality, what you consume each day is also a direct source of nutrients that nourishes the prostate and supports stable male hormone activity. If your diet lacks fiber, contains too much refined sugar, or excessive caffeine, the prostate will react to these irritants, leading to inflammation, tension, and prolonged discomfort. Meanwhile, anti-inflammatory foods rich in fiber and good for digestion act as silent helpers that help you maintain long-term stability. Why does healthy digestion affect the prostate? Because when your intestines function smoothly, you avoid constipation, a major cause of mechanical pressure on the pelvic floor every time you strain. An ideal breakfast for men over 60 can start with a bowl of oatmeal cooked with ground flax seeds, a few prunes, or a ripe banana. Accompany this with a glass of warm water with lemon juice to gently stimulate digestion. This combination supports bowel movement, softens stool, and helps reduce stress on the pelvic floor and the prostate. You can also add psyllium husk, a gel-forming soluble fiber that's very suitable for older adults with sensitive digestive systems. It helps regulate bowel movements without causing excessive contractions, while reducing the risk of constipation and aiding in gentle detoxification. Always remember, every food choice you make today is an investment in your health for the years ahead. Don't wait until your body speaks up to correct mistakes. Act early to proactively protect yourself. And no matter how good your diet is, if you neglect physical movement, especially if you sit for long hours without changing posture, the benefits you build may gradually fade away. In the next part, I'll help you understand why sitting incorrectly or for too long makes it harder for your prostate to recover and more prone to irritation. Part 4, sitting too long each day, a silent habit that causes chronic prostate irritation. There's one habit that's often overlooked but clearly affects prostate health in older men: sitting in one place for too long without movement. Even if you've made the right changes in diet, urination posture, or supplementation, if your body stays motionless for hours every day, recovery progress can still be significantly reduced. The prostate is located in a very sensitive area, just below the bladder, close to the pelvic floor. When you sit continuously for hours, especially on hard surfaces, your body weight puts direct pressure on this sensitive zone. Over time, that pressure makes the pelvic muscles stiff, reduces blood flow, and sets the stage for inflammation to worsen and linger. I've met many patients who showed great improvement after changing urination posture and eating correctly, but just a few weeks later, symptoms returned. And after a closer look, it turned out they were sitting to work, read, or watch TV for 5-6 hours a day without standing up to move around. The solution is quite simple. Set a gentle reminder every 45 to 60 minutes to stand up and walk around a bit. You don't need to exercise. Just a few steps around the room or a leg stretch is enough to improve blood circulation to the pelvic area. If you often have to sit for work, invest in a cushion that reduces pressure on the pelvic floor, such as a donut-shaped or U-shaped cushion. These small tools help distribute body weight and reduce friction on the prostate. Additionally, regularly doing light exercises like walking, knee bends, or reverse kedgels can help stimulate circulation and oxygen delivery to pelvic tissues, supporting your body's natural healing. Dear friend, we've just gone through a series of seemingly small habits, but they play an extremely important role in your prostate health, especially after age 60. From changing urination posture, adjusting bathroom habits, being mindful of how you sit, eating wisely, to how you move each day, all are choices completely within your control. The prostate doesn't send signals immediately when there's a problem. But if you listen to your body, care for it, and be proactive now, you'll avoid serious issues in the future in a gentle and natural way. If the information in this video has brought something useful to you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell to continue walking this journey with Dr. Marie in the next videos. This is a simple way to stay updated with new knowledge and also a motivation for us to keep sharing practical, relatable, and trustworthy content for older men's health. Wishing you great health, a sharp mind, and abundant vitality through every stage of life. See you in the next video.